Mr. Cuccinelli, during your April 27th, 2023 appearance, I asked you about your January 6th Select Committee transcribed interview, specifically about the several instances where various Trump officials approached you on the ability of the Department of Homeland Security, where you serve as acting deputy secretary, to seize voting machines. This included a series of attempts, including a December 31, 2020 call, which was 58 days after the election and only 7 days before the attack on the Capitol, from former President Trump regarding seizing voting machines. You testified before the January 6th Select Committee and this committee that the former president asked you about seizing voting machines. However, your prior testimony was inconsistent with Mr. Donahue's recollection of the call from President Trump. You said that Mr. Donahue's recollection might be a misunderstanding. This committee and I look forward to hearing from you, Mr. Cuccinelli, by next Wednesday as we seek clarity about exactly when, after the election, the former president asked you about DHS authority to seize voting machines, particularly after you informed his campaign that DHS and DOJ lacked such authority. Mr. Chair, I seek unanimous consent to include the following items in the record: the Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, transcribed interview of Richard Donahue, and the June 23rd, 2022 hearing on the January 6th investigation record, both of which include former Mr. Donahue's testimony regarding former President Trump's call to Mr. Cuccinelli regarding seizing voting machines, and the Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol, transcribed interview by Ken Cuccinelli from December 7th, 2021.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, because witnesses' credibility matters to this committee. Ms. Evans, you know, Republican majority states have shown their voter priorities. First, by redistricting practices, gerrymandering every community that does not agree with their extreme agenda. Two, shutting down polling locations in communities that do not agree with their extreme agenda. Three, purging voters simply because they missed an election. And four, promoting disinformation in districts that are represented by members of Congress that do not agree with their extreme agenda. To all of the DC residents that are here, let me apologize to you for what has been put on the record about you and your right to be a citizen of a state, of a community where you live and pay taxes. I don't know a better example of taxation without representation than what you go through every single day under this extreme majority. Ms. Evans, please tell us a little bit about how DC makes pro-voter policies, how they put those policies in place to improve voter access, specifically how you reach out to voters who may feel disconnected when they hear disinformation and they see that there has been no progress in them being able to cast their votes for representatives that truly represent their community. Please tell us about these processes.
Thank you. Our processes are really around voter education and outreach, and we have a very robust division at DC Board of Elections, and we make information available in several different formats. We use print media, we use television, radio media. We attempt to address the digital divide by sending material to residents in the District of Columbia, yard signs, door hangers. All of those are mechanisms that we use to get information to the residents and voters in the District of Columbia. In addition to that, we hold roundtables and town halls to receive feedback. And as far as the passage of legislation and laws, District Council and the mayor do the same.
Thank you, Ms. Evans, and I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Mr.